on, guys? Politics Gaming here, and today I am doing a brand new series. This is going to be a very interesting series. Basically, I am going to be playing as the Islamic Republic of Iran. Iran has been suffering from a lot of discontent and political protests in the last, I believe, weeks, I believe. So a lot of things have been coming out of Iran. A lot of news has been coming out of Iran. So we have no idea what's going to happen in Iran, but we're keeping a close eye on it. President Donald Trump actually did comment on the matter when it started to happen, when a mistake that Barack Obama refused to basically do during in 2009. So basically, we are going to be striving for a democracy. That is one of the basic things that I'm going to strive for in this series. I do not take any position in the turmoil in Iran. They have their own country to deal with, and that is their problem. I'm not going to sit here and commentate about how Iran should value their country and their people and stuff like that, though I do say that they should change their human rights record. Other than that, Iran's a very interesting country. I've heard a lot of people from Iran. They say it's a very beautiful country, and I can actually say that Iran is actually a very, very beautiful country. A lot of history historically used to be called Persia. And in 1979, the Shah was overthrown in Iran because of the things that he was doing. Because he was basically having Iran be a democracy, but the secret police was torturing people. Like, any discontent against him was valued as an enemy of the state, and so he was a pretty bad guy. The Shah was not a good guy, and this is me as an American saying these things. So this is only my opinion. I'm not trying to say that this is anything I say is usually my opinion, and if you guys want to discuss that with me, then I am very open to discussing. But I am not meaning to offend anyone whenever I make this series and such. And with that over with, I'm going to go ahead and start reforming my economy. I am going to go over here. For one, I'm going to go ahead and start production on an aircraft carrier. $200 million should do that. I know exactly how to cut spending. We are going to go over to Army. We're going to go to legislation, and we're going to abolish the national service. The national service does always take a lot of money. So that is actually something that can save you money, and then plus it allows you to invest more into your economy. I took 1% off of my budget deficit. So what else am I gonna do? I can build a highway. We have secondary highway. We can build 100 miles of secondary highway. That's going to cost, 150 miles. It's going to take 4 months, 600 people. I'm going to go ahead and invest $500 million into that, with 1,600 people working on it. And that should be good. So we just invested into highways into our country. We're going to go over here to taxes. I'm going to go ahead and start a tax reform. We're going to go ahead and raise our value added tax by 20.25%. Let's go over here. Something I actually may end up doing is switching over to the Pillar of Islam political group. That is a conservative rightist party who got the most votes in the election. This is my party right here. We do not have a majority in the thing, and I am not going to call for it because I do not want to be a part of a religious authoritarian regime. Again, I am going to be switching to a democracy, I'm going to be going for a democracy. So I can switch to the Pillar of Islam group, and then I can prepare for the election in 2019, in which I will by the next election, I will be in this party, and I will basically try and switch over there. So we're gonna go ahead and put this into a reform. We're gonna call this the I'm just gonna call it the Teheraniform. Call it the Tehran reform and create that reform. And then we're gonna go over here. Let's look at our income tax. Income tax maybe will stay the same. In these countries, your poor is always the most affected. So I can cut. You know what? Since the poor is the one that's driving most of our economy, I can cut that by barely that much. I'm going to raise taxes on something. Mostly because employer. Let's go over there to 7. Wow, 40% Social Security payments. Let's see. Oh, this is a reform. It's a... Oh, our Congress doesn't matter. I didn't realize that. Employee, 18% and only $3 billion. Wow. And then tax and company turnover, let's go ahead and put that at 7. Alright, I know we're gonna get a lot of hate. Let's go ahead and build some housing. Our budget limit is going to be... Our budget limit is going to be 2%. I do not want to go above that. Let's go over here, psychiatric. Wow, we can give a lot of money to that. Services for the handicapped, $3 million. Fight against AIDS, 2 stars, $69 million. And then fight against cancer, a grand total of $122 million on the dot. Let's go ahead and increase funding to our sector right there. And then go to the next day so we can see the damage that is done. Social rating has been demolished, but purchasing power and public finances are that, with a grand total of 10% being added to our approval rating. So let's look at our inflation. We have 8.4% inflation. Our interest rate is at 18%. So I think we can keep that, and then we can just wait maybe a year or two to get that down. Let's go over to farming. Let's give our farmers some subsidies. Let's give them $10 million each. That is our spending right there. Unfortunately, is not over $1 billion because I like it whenever it's that instead of it showing just in the millions. Let's go over to industry. Automobile construction. Trade balance is positive. Technological level there. We have nationalized our chemical industry, so I guess that is good. Just the total work. Wow, what is our employment? I don't think I'm going to mess with that then, but I am going to give them subsidies to help them grow. What is their income tax? They're not making anything off of income, so I'm going to exonerate them. Household appliances, let's go ahead and give them some subsidies. $60 million in subsidies and at least a government exoneration. Nuclear submarines, I can stop my nuclear program, but if I do start moving toward a democracy and a cool down of relations with the West, especially the United States and Israel, I will keep my nuclear weapons. Because any nuclear nation is always just a deterrent against the bigger nations, especially those, especially not just from the United States, which is thousands and thousands of miles away, but just across the Gulf and Saudi Arabia is a major threat to our national security. So I'm going to keep our nuclear weapons unless we need to cut costs. 182 days until the enrichment center is being built, and our goal will probably to have at least more nuclear warheads than Pakistan. How many nuclear warheads does Pakistan have? 120. Okay, more nuclear warheads than Israel. So we're gonna strive for at least 150 nukes, which will take years to build. Wow, the Russians have 5,000 nukes and the United States has 4,000 nukes. France has 348, China has 193, United Kingdom has 160, and Pakistan has 120. So we will keep our nuclear weapons as a deterrent against other nations. We will actually side with Russia on our foreign policy. Our goal is going to be to gain them as an ally. God, my throat. So let's look at our immigration situation. We have 16,000 people flowing out of our country each year. No illegal immigrants, thank God. India has 3 million illegals. An immigration rate is 0.2 out of 1,000. So I think that is actually way a little better than those of like Pakistan. Definitely Turkey. Qatar has positive 16. Yeah. So debt, let's go ahead and check our debt situation. $8 billion budget deficit, as well as a 13% public debt as percent of the GDP. We have no credit rating with any lender agency. Most of our debt is going to the United States, France, Japan, the United Kingdom, and Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia actually has a hold on our debt, unfortunately. Space program, we already have our own space program. I don't think we're really going to concentrate on that. Maybe we can concentrate on going to the moon. Maybe we can concentrate on that. We can probably just concentrate on Earth. We're definitely not going to get to Mars before anyone else. We can focus on building our own space station, maybe. We can definitely launch some satellites. We can do some space habitation modules. We would need to increase funding, especially for supporting human life in space and astronaut training. But we can concentrate on our own backdoor, and that will be actually that will actually get us a lot of approval. Let's go ahead and play this. I am going to go to the service sector, and I am going to let's start our own fast food chains. Let's go for $40 million in government subsidies and exonerate the fast food chain. Postal service is nationalized. We will keep that even if we do become a democracy. Services are not nationalized. We do not plan on nationalizing them. if we are preparing for war against nations, I will actually increase our military power. We can probably get our defense spending up to 20%, maybe keep it at least 15%. But whenever we get rid of conscription, then we will have a 600 manpower military, 600,000 manpower military. So we will have a very strong military. Professional armies are always what I recommend. Reserve at 350 reserves. Yeah. Commandos, we will concentrate on commandos. So we're going to go ahead and ask for 1,000 commandos. Rockets, we're going to increase that to 600,000 rockets and 10,000 missiles. This is a one-time cost of $1.5 billion. So we do not need to worry about that, but we will incur a little bit of debt. In these next few quarters, I will be incurring a lot of debt until I can grow my economy and get some growth going. Plans for this GDP, we will aim for a $2 trillion economy by 2020, maybe 2025. What is the biggest economy in the world? Okay, let's go over here, GDP. Okay, so we have $440 billion. So our goal is going to be a bigger economy than Russia. So $1.5 trillion is going to be our goal. But we will continue to match their economy and outgrow their economy, and probably we will get more investment into our economy. What is our welfare? Oh yeah, terrorists. Regulate contraception. Tolerate but discourage. We will definitely move that. Birth control policy, single child policy, we do not have. Alright, here it is. This is probably a strain on our economy. Actually, we're only spending $130 million. Same-sex adoption. Legalization. We will reach for no union, but legal homosexuality. Because we do not want people to be discriminated in our country. But at the same time, we want to keep with our own morals and keep with our own country instead of allowing, because we're not really going to be shooting for like straight up westernization, but we are going to shoot for less human rights violations and more basic rights for people. So that is why I will be shooting for democracy. It's a little laggy. Investing in cyber protection. What? How much money do we have to invest? I will throw $300,000 into cyber protection. $305,000. This cyber protection lets you perform a security audit on local networks, databases, websites, messaging, and modify systems accordingly. It also includes a training module to educate personnel on cybersecurity. So we're going to go ahead and invest that into our cybersecurity, just in case we need it. So let's go ahead and get to when this law will be passed. Very, very laggy. New political family. I've decided to send everything flying and change the internet service provider. That has been driving me crazy with all the lagging. You have no idea how good it feels and how it changes your life. You can change your life too. Look how it's seeing the clowns in your party buzzing around you and putting the squeeze on you by switching political parties. You will get rid of those fossils and you'll be treated like a king in your new family. Tehran reform has been passed. Alright, let's, since we have newfound popularity, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do some auditing and checking of our terrorist networks. I am also going to, alright, and then we're going to check them later. I am going to come over, god dang, these damn lag. Okay, I think that's a little better. Justice, let's go ahead and check our laws on justice. We will be a very weird democracy. Maybe I can actually change this to justice under complete state control. Or high court judges. I will not go for the total independence of the justice. That's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to go for a high court judges appointed by the state, or I can go for justice completely under state control. Okay, and then maybe we can ban firearms. Let's go for 2 more prisons being built. And then put them in the East Azerbaijan region. Alright, our budget deficit is now 2%. I am going to have to increase funding for our economy. We're going to have to revitalize our economy and create growth. Inflation seems to be going down. Yes, it is. So I will come over here. I'm actually going to go over... Wait. One final investment into cyber security. I'm going to go for a silver protection plan to protect our public infrastructures, including public safety, transportation, and suppliers of electricity, gas, and water. That will be a little bit of a cost. Wow, that actually was a cost. Maybe I should have waited. But maybe our growth will cut it down. So, since we have now invested into... Alright, let us look at that. You see, yeah, that actually went down. Our growth is actually going to go up, so our finances are actually going to start going up. That actually, our thing actually changed. Jordan actually seems to be good with us, and also Syria. Syria is actually an ally of us. I think we can actually intervene. Iraq, we can actually intervene and just wipe out all of these guys right here. All of these military camps. We have complete sight of them. Iraqi Kurdistan. Kurdistan actually wants to take this entire region up here. The Hook. Do we have the ability to go over their airspace? No, we don't. Order spy satellites. No nations available for this product. Alright, I guess we can't help Syria. Alright, looks like our people are now under surveillance. So let's go back. Wow, that went back up. Ugh. I need to cut funding to something. Okay, you not doing anything. Iraq demo. Okay, so more people have been added. Okay. And then let's go over here. We need to cut funding to something. Employment agency. We have billions and billions of dollars that we need to cut. So this needs to be a long-term thing instead of just cutting stars to something. We can cut funding. We can cut funding to that. We have the approval that we can lose. Okay, I'm going to cut funding to that. And I'm going to come up down here. I'm going to give more funding to other things other than those. And then let's give them more pay. And more people to work with. And then, last but not least, we're going to build some hospitals for them as well. Select region all over the territory. And then that barely did anything. Yep. Well, lost 8% in approval. Unfortunately. Maybe we can let Iranian Kurdistan loose. Iranian Union of Independence. What is our electoral system like? Parliament. Okay, so Parliament is consultative role, no real power. So what about our head of state? Head of state. Nomination is democratically elected by the universal suffrage. 2 turns. I can go for 1 turn. 1 successive renewal of term. And 4-year mandate. And I have a $311 salary. Oh, I know how to get money. Let's go to health and social security. And then let's go over here. And then let's go over here. Let's give that some approval. And that will do. Tax exemptions for enterprises. For companies using retirement by capitalization. That will actually be our first strive for a democracy. And then once we actually get that passed, I am going to go ahead and call this an episode. So let's go ahead and check the situation in our country. Over 2 million people were born, and they are about to turn 29. So, we have a lot of people in that, but 700,000 people, our birth rate, it's only 17 out of 1,000. One of the highest in the world, actually. Urbanization rate 69, but it is going up. GDP per capita is $5,400. Intelligence. All right, we're gonna look at that in a second. Creation of the new space programs. Okay, so our deficit requires attention. Maybe we shouldn't have invested into cybersecurity at the time we did. We just need growth. That's what we need. ICTs could be better. Oh, we need to export. That's what I need to do. All right. Accept. We need to meet with someone. Who will meet with us? Who will meet with us? The People's Republic of China, our best trading partner. Let's go ahead and meet them and then meet with the Turkish president. My goal, I can actually build a oil pipeline to give the Turks oil. Let's go ahead and ask them if they want an oil pipeline. I will get a standard contract, but I will get another oil pipeline, and then, wow, our deficit actually went down. Ugh. But I am going to go ahead and negotiate a contract just so I can keep my growth up. But that wasn't even our growth. Was it? Nope. I don't know what that was. Oh, that was because of the thing. Propose a military alliance. I'm gonna propose a non-aggression pact. Chemical industry. No, they already have enough of that. We actually have none of it. Let's give them fuel. $10 billion contract. Good negotiating margins. So let's go ahead and send that. We can actually go with 925.14. So let's go ahead and call this. I keep thinking I'm negotiating with Turkey. Let's call this the Tehran Beijing Fuel Pact. And then we're going to set this to a 10-year contract. Negotiate, accepted. 100, or actually $11.2 billion contract for 10 years. And then let's go back to China again. Since I'm not going to be able to get an oil pipeline with them, I'm going to just go ahead and send it. I am going to offer 53 million TEL for that price. $23 billion contract. I am going to offer this for 53 million TEL. And then send that. Since it would be more economic to negotiate with Turkey, I think it would be because how much, you know what, I'm actually going to do that. If anything, I'm going to cancel the other oil agreement with China, and then I'm just going to negotiate a new one. How much can we give to them? 2, they have 28 million. Yeah, we could have gotten more money off of China. Let's offer them the rest. Let's go here. Sales, oil. Then that's not going to throw us anywhere bad, right? 50 million. Probably will. 48. And then 10 years, they're probably going to accept that. You know what? I can offer it elsewhere, and if anything, I can just go back. What is wrong with our public finances? Our expenses and our... Alright. Let's look at that. Growth is still steady, about 3.58%. Let's go ahead and do this meeting with the Republic of Turkey, and then we're going to call it an episode. Okay, so that was a decent contract. It's not going to have a significant impact on employment, but we will make a lot of profit off of it. Same thing with this. It's close to our usual sale price. But doesn't really matter.
The appointment that you have just taken is well noted. The sensitivity of the figures concerned.
Oh, okay. Alright, this calls it for the first episode of the Islamic Republic of Iran. So if you guys like this episode, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you are new. I now have 1,100 subscribers who love my Power and Revolution content and love the politics that I go through and the events that happen on my live streams and on my series. So thank you guys so much for being a part of this community and being a part of my YouTube and being a part of everything. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys in the next episode of the Islamic Republic of Iran.